"2017 brought us modernized versions of the Autobot and Decepticon clones, identical-looking robots with different alternate modes. Hasbro sold one half of each duo in a 2-pack, and the other halves in Titan's Return box sets. Takara, I'd say, answered a lot of fans' prayers and paired them properly for their Legends toy line. You have LG58, Fastlane and Cloudraker, and LG61, Pounce and Wingspan. While I only picked up the cons at TFNation, I'm covering both sets in this video. These guys are roughly the height of more recent Legends figures. Legends in this case being the Hasbro price point, not the Takara toy line. Yeah, they recycle more than character names in this franchise. The size works for them though, as their G1 figures were likewise small. In fact, the robot designs are almost carbon copies of their old toys, except posable. All four move at the neck, shoulders, elbows, hips, thighs, and knees. The decos are based on their appearance in the Headmaster's anime, the Autobots being cream and two-tone red, one bordering on pink, the Decepticons being greyish-white, purple, indigo, and turquoise. Compared to the US versions, the cons aren't that different. All that's missing are some yellow paint apps, and the magentas replaced with a darker purple. The bots, however, I actually prefer Hasbro's medium red as opposed to this pinkish shade we have here. Personal taste again, but it just looks garish to me. Done in the style of the heat-sensitive rub signs are symbols of their alternate modes, so you can tell them apart. You know, if the kibble didn't give it away. Well, aren't these a mixed bag? The Decepticons turn into mech creatures, while the Autobots transform into vehicles, presumably Cybertronian. Sadly, where the bots are concerned, this is one of those cases where they're faithful to the originals, but the originals weren't all that hot to begin with. For one, their limbs could not be more painfully obvious. Accurate though this may be, it still reflects how lazily designed G1 toys became as the years went by. Though in Fastlane's defense, at least his silhouette does resemble something of a sleek dragster or racer. Cloudraker's jet mode, on the other hand, is basically a flying brick. Hell, the wings are actually shorter and stubbier than before. You do have the nose landing gear which helps him display better. Other than that, Cloudraker's the only clone I consider a downgrade from the G1 toy. The Decepticons are something else. For one, Pounce's Puma mode is miles ahead of the original, and I think it's merely due to the more natural placement of the forelegs, being in line with the head and back, as if he were an actual Puma. I'm not expecting perfect biology, obviously, but come on, this looks worlds better than this block with the pinhead and thin forelegs tacked on near the underside like a kit bash. And then there's Wingspan, who's in a league of his own. Unlike his clone brethren, the transformation vastly differs from his old toy. Instead of his robot legs splitting into bird limbs and a chunky oversized tail, this time they form the wings. That's always tricky to pull off as the pieces have to be both thin enough for convincing wings, yet thick enough for substantial legs. Wingspan succeeds with flying colours, helped by the fact that panels splay out, trimming things down a bit as well as revealing feather-like details. All four have spots for Titan and Prime Masters, whether it's a concealed seat or just carved on the back. Also, as beasts, Pounce and Wingspan have some degree of posability in the limbs, wings, and tails, respectively, though Wingspan's wing hinges are more for the transformation. Raise them any higher and the wings themselves dislocate. In modernizing numerous classic characters via generations, it's cool that Hastak are revisiting more of the post-movie /rebirth/Headmasters cast as of late. The concept behind the clones make both sets worth buying just for the novelty. However, in terms of the toys themselves, whereas the Autobots are merely slavish, the Decepticons are sizable improvements over the originals, so you can probably guess which of the two packs I recommend more.